If you have been keeping an eye on the markets in Africa, you might have seen that S&P Global Ratings just gave a bit of a reality check to Angola. They confirmed the country's credit rating at B- for the long term and B for the short term with a stable outlook. This basically means things are not getting worse, but they are definitely not easy right now. The experts are worried about how vulnerable Angola is to changes in the global market, especially since their finances are looking a bit weak and they need a lot of funding. On the bright side, they do have decent foreign exchange reserves, and that oil money is still coming in to provide some support. As long as oil prices do not crash or production does not take a massive hit, they should be able to handle their debt payments. However, if they stop being disciplined with their budget, or if the costs of borrowing in their local currency go up too much, they could run into trouble. The budget for 2025 is looking a lot more expansionary than before, which is a fancy way of saying they are spending more, and that has people worried about whether they will stay on track. There's also the 2027 general election coming up, which usually means more spending and more risk of the budget getting out of hand. S&P thinks the government will see a deficit of about 2.6% of gross domestic product annually between 2026 and 2029. That's a big change from the tiny surpluses they had a few years ago. Government debt is expected to stay around 44% of gross domestic product, which is way better than the 94% they saw back in 2020. But with oil production dropping from its peak of 2 million barrels a day down to around 1.06 million, and oil prices expected to stay around $60 to $65, the pressure is on. Plus, cutting fuel subsidies back in July 2025 caused some serious social unrest, so the government is having to be a lot more careful now.